Alright, this video is to hopefully simplify installing drawers, especially into pre-constructed cabinetry. So we live in an old farmhouse. We've lived here for almost 20 years, but these custom drawers and cabinet spaces were made probably long before we moved in here. I'm guessing they're probably close to maybe 40, 50 years old. But I'm replacing all the drawers and cabinet doors, and we're doing the inset version. So just so you can see what is happening now, these are Blum soft close drawers, and I got it working pretty nice now. I haven't put the face on them yet, but I had a lot of trouble installing the rails into these spaces, to the point where I couldn't get them parallel without overly adjusting them over and over and over again. And so what I've decided to do is create, I'll kind of take this drawer out here right now so you can see. So I created a base plate out of, I think this is 3/16, but next one I'm going to do as a 1/4 inch, a little bit of plywood here, and I installed the drawer slides out in my garage and made sure they were parallel and worked ahead of time, and then I'm able to slide this in and install it as a full unit here. So I'm just going to go out to the garage and continue making them and show you how I'm doing that. Okay, so here we are in the garage. I have 4 more drawers made. There were 5 total. You saw the one inside I had done, but it took a lot of experimentation. That one you saw in there was the 3rd actual box. This is the first time I've made drawer boxes, so that was the 3rd prototype, I guess, and it ended up working. And then it took me forever, probably, I don't know, before I gave up in the evening, one evening. It took me a long time, probably 2 days, to mess around with the rails. It just was taking way too long. So so I have found, I'm using 3/4 inch plywood and then 1/4 inch maple for the drawer bottoms here. And I found I'm using pocket screws, if you can see that here. And you can make the drawer boxes a lot of different ways, but I found it easiest to make the back and the front the inside of the panel. And that allows, with these Blum drawer slides, you need to create this 1 3/8 inch by 1/2 inch wide dado, I guess, or inset here. And notice it makes, I use my bandsaw, but you could use a bandsaw or a jigsaw. Notice you don't have to create the outside part of the rail here. So I'm just putting these together. I've found that if you make the drawer the exact same length as the drawer slide, so I have 21 inch drawer slides, and so I'm just going to show you the length of this. Is exactly 21 inches, so that's going to fit the length of my 21 inch drawer slides. And I found that if I make the width a 1/4 inch less than the opening, so I can tell this box, the opening was 15 3/4, because this is 15 1/2, and these larger drawers over here, there was a 20 inch opening, and so you'll see that that's 19 3/4. Okay, so now I'm just mounting these locks in place, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I've now mounted the clips for the drawer slides. Yeah, they have these jigs and stuff that they use. You can buy those. I just used a little scratch awl and poked before I screwed these in. I poked to make holes for where the placement goes, and then I pulled those away, and then I drilled through to make a pilot hole for the screws to go in, and it worked just fine. Okay. One thing I forgot to mention is the height of these drawers. The opening height is 5 inches. I decided to make my opening 3.5, or the height of my drawer 3.5. There's just some stuff in my pre-made drawer casings that got in the way. So you can kind of mess around with that and figure out what the height of your drawer should be. I think 3.5 is going to work just fine. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install these, just so you can see how this goes. And so just so you can see things clip, you'll hear it snap if I can do this well. I use my hip. Maybe it didn't snap. It's locked in there though. So you can kind of see that's locked in, and this one, okay, you heard that one snap. Okay, so that's locked in, and that's going to be easy to take off when you need to, when they're installed. Next thing I'm going to do is drill holes for these little, you'll see them on your Blum Drawer Slides. There's little notches here that you have to drill holes for. I'm going to do that on both sides. And again, there's templates for that, but you'll see, I just pushed those two notches in far enough that you can see I'm going to have to drill right there for that one to slide in, and I'm going to have to drill right there for that one to slide in. Okay, so I'm going to get that taken care of, and then I'm going to make the template that I'm just going to be, or the mounting plate that I'm going to use to just slide them into my cupboards. Okay, I've installed all the rails, and they can come off very easily just by using those clips. So I did that by drilling these holes out that I mentioned earlier. Okay, and they're all fitting in nicely. One thing I did, and I made this mistake on my first drawer that's already in our house, but there's 4 more here. I drilled a little too deep through the 3/4 inch plywood, so I put that little tape on there just to make sure that I was not drilling through the plywood. That probably is like set at, I don't know, 5/8 of an inch or so. So that worked. I didn't drill through the other side, so that was good. So now I'm going to be making the plates that I'm going to insert into our cabinet here in a little bit. But I just want to show you that by making the drawer width 1/4 inch less than the opening, what these drawer slides end up being. So the opening was 20 inches wide, and so I made the drawers 19 3/4 inches wide. And you can notice now that I have the rails installed that they're pretty much right on 20 inches, which is the width of that opening. Maybe a little less, so that would be good if you want to insert these straight inside your cabinet. They would fit inside the opening with a little bit of play, not much. I'm going to insert these from the bottom. So when I make the plate for these to sit on, I'm going to make it probably 22 inches wide and maybe like 23 inches deep, because maybe 22 by 22, just to make it easy, because my cabinets are about 23 or 24 deep. So that's going to allow this to fit inside. So I'm going to create those in the garage, and I'll show you that, and then I'll take them inside and install them. Okay, I have the pieces cut. I have the rails on it still, so now I'm just going to mark. I'm just going to use my pencil here and mark the line for each of these rails. Alright, so I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'm going to take the drawer off and then just install the rails down and test the drawers out, see if they're working. Okay, I have the rails installed on the first platform. I just pre-drilled a hole here and here and just used screws. I actually put some washers in place so they didn't stick out too far on the other side. They stick out a little bit, and in hindsight I'm actually glad for that, because it helps maintain its placement when I slide this inside the drawer opening. Just so you can see, I'm going to try this one-handed, and actually you'll kind of the first time when I was trying it out, it was rubbing a little bit on this side, so I loosened both of these screws a little bit and just nudged it to the left a little bit, and now it works real nice. So I'm just going to show you that. Goes in there. I'll let it latch into place. There it goes. Okay, so opening it. There's full extension, and then soft close. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same on the rest and install. Okay, I'm about to install this. If I didn't have the mounting plate on it, I would be able to just slide the drawers in there, but I do have this mounting plate on, so what I'm going to have to do is take the drawer off and come up from the bottom here. I'll kind of show you the inside. You can see from the previous drawers, they were just cedar drawers, and that it was wood on wood for how they moved in and out. So I'm going to take this drawer out, and then get it up in there, and then make some adjustments. Okay, got the mounting plate up in there. You can see the rails. So the nice thing about this is I'm going to put the drawer in, and I'm going to be able to adjust it back and forth, forward and back, to plan for the inset. So I'm going to tack it in from the bottom, not tack, but I'm going to screw it from, there's a bottom slat there that I'm going to screw up through and attach the mounting plate to those slides, and then adjust it, and should be done. Okay, have it installed. I did screw in from the bottom, and as you can see, it's sticking a little bit, so I'll have to mess around with it a little bit here, but yeah, it's sticking. So, but as you can see, it does soft close, and it is recessed and ready for the face plate to go on it and be hopefully even with the front of the face here. So I'm just going to see if I can fix this in terms of working smoothly and install the other ones.